Teddy's widow, Vicki, is here, and his niece, Caroline, his son, Patrick, whose vote helped make this reform a reality. I remember seeing Ted walk through that door in a summit in this room a year ago, one of his last public appearances. And it was hard for him to make it. But he was confident that we would do the right thing. Our presence here today is remarkable and improbable. With all the punditry, all of the lobbying, all of the game playing that passes for governing in Washington, it's been easy at times to doubt our ability to do such a big thing, such a complicated thing, to wonder if there are limits to what we as a people can still achieve. It's easy to succumb to the sense of cynicism about what's possible in this country. But today we are affirming that essential truth, a truth every generation is called to rediscover for itself, that we are not a nation that scales back its aspirations. We are not a nation that falls prey to doubt or mistrust. We don't fall prey to fear. We are not a nation that does what's easy. That's not who we are. That's not how we got here. We are a nation that faces its challenges and accepts its responsibilities. We are a nation that does what is hard, what is necessary, what is right. Here in this country, we shape our own destiny. That is what we do. That is who we are. That is what makes us the United States of America. And we have now just enshrined, as soon as I sign this bill, the core principle that everybody should have some basic security when it comes to their health care. And it is an extraordinary achievement that has happened because of all of you and all the advocates all across the country. So thank you. Thank you. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I would now like to call up to stage some of the members of Congress who helped make this day possible and some of the Americans who will benefit from these reforms. And we're going to sign this bill.
I know he is. Thank you.
This is going to take a little while. I've got to use every pen, so it's going to take a really long time.
People do say they actually
I didn't practice.
You're doing fine, Mr. President. If you could do that. Don't look to Suzanne.
You almost forget how to spell.
Best speaker in the history of put down your middle name, Mr. President.
Nice speech.
We are done.
Correspondent Carl Cameron is also standing by because there's still work to be done in the Senate today. Carl, your thoughts on what the president had to say and what we have ahead of us?
Well, it's clear that the president and the Democratic Party are going to get a slight bump out of this. The polls will begin to rebound a little bit, much the same way the vote count did in the House in recent days. One by one, Democrats sort of come home. A lot of the reason the president's unpopularity and job approval numbers have been dipping lately is because, frankly, Democrats have been disillusioned with him, and moderate independent swing voters have been ticked off and disillusioned with him, in part because of gridlock on Capitol Hill and the assertion that the health care bill that he is now made into law is less than what was promised on the campaign trail. The absence of a government-run insurance program has Democrats a little disappointed, frankly. But with this achievement, with the signing of this bill, many of them will go through a momentary increased level of affection for the president, and his numbers should be expected to go up a little bit. The Republicans certainly are prepared for that whenever such an event like this happens, and you've got the nation and the world's attention focused on the bully pulpit of the Oval Office, the presidency. There's likely to be some gains from it, but the sustainability of it is not really a question. Folks recognize that apart from this health care bill, the president is dealing with a very, very tough economic environment, and what Republicans will do now is essentially try to tie the health care bill and government spending and Barack Obama's signature on bills that increase government spending around all Democratic candidates for re-election like a boat anchor around their neck. This is a very, very difficult environment for Democrats to campaign in, notwithstanding today's achievements. That's what caused so many Democrats to waver in recent weeks and months. The fact that they just barely got it over the finish line in the House to get to this point is a testament to just how worried they are. So folks shouldn't be surprised by the euphoria from Democrats. They have the congressional majorities in Washington, and they have the White House, so they've managed to push this thing through. There is still some more work to be done, though, Jenna Lee. You're right. This is going to be a very, very tense week in the Senate. If the reconciliation package that passed the House, is changed in any substantive way, really changed at all, they can move a comma and they can change a semicolon to a colon, but anything more than that, and the bill in the Senate for the reconciliation package fixes will have to go back to the House. That would be a big slowdown, and it'll raise big questions about whether or not the promised fixes can be delivered or not. Democrats will do everything they can this week to block every Republican point of order, a parliamentary challenge to whether or not this is a legitimate piece of legislation, and they will do everything they can to avoid amendments from passing to the reconciliation package, because any attempt to improve the bill constitutes a change, any change
or race, if you will.
And
And you saw it on the floor of the House with the member yelling out the other day what he did about baby killer. You saw it months ago with the member who yelled and called the president a liar, basically, and seemed to have a constituency behind them. It wasn't individual catcalling. It was people seeming to speak for elements in the right.
Right. But, Chris, they're speaking to elements of the right who are motivated by fear. Notice all of those things you rattled off. You don't have people rallying around something positive. You have people yelling at Congressman Frank and African-American members of Congress using slurs, but not going at them on issues, on substance, on policy. And, if John Boehner, Minority Leader Boehner, and other members of the Republican leadership want to to focus on the reactionary stuff and not focus on the substance. And that's our issue as editorial writers, to see, okay, you've got your talking points and you've got your rhetoric, but what's behind it? And the problem for me personally is there's nothing behind it.